Hi everyone, thank you for popping by. I was just looking at this article in the New York Times, and at the end of it, it does mention a Jehovah's Witness family. It's about homelessness and a certain homeless shelter and what they're achieving. And while I was reading it, I was just thinking how fragile for so many of us. Accommodation, our jobs, our accommodation, our health, so many things. Things can go very quickly. Takes a stroke, that's it, you've gone. An accident, whatever. Suddenly you're made redundant or something happens. And then more than ever, we need our families. So to think of how Jehovah's Witnesses are splitting up families and they're making that worse. And in the last 10 years, since the banks supposedly bust, be one way of putting it, we've yet to see a broke bank, of course, but really, yeah, since all that went, things have been harder for everyone everywhere, and everyone is deserving of every safety net possible. Hello? Yeah. And no. And not only a Watchtower leaving the families who were thrown out, or just shunned for no reason. The last video I put up, family being shunned because their daughter was raped at the age of 5. Oh, really good reason. Well done, good reason to shun a family. And then what happens when people are in need? So you've not only got the people being shunned, but those who are inside. You might have, some very elderly couple. They're at an age where they need help. They're not speaking to any of their relatives because Watchtower has told them to. No one wins. Well, sorry, Watchtower do, because then they'll leave their house or whatever they have. The fillings in their teeth. I guess it's going to get to that soon. To Watchtower, they're pretty much getting that bad. So this was an interesting story. This is Alexandria. Vacant department store, Alexandria near Washington, and a Macy's. About a quarter of this huge over 2 stories building. I mean, the whole mall is dying, as these places are, has been turned into a homeless shelter. Charities taking it on, good for them. Carpenter Shelter, they're called, and non-profit group. So maybe that's a bit different to a charity. There's different setups. One of the residents now moved in. She used to work at Macy's, and now she needs that help. And this property has been managed by Howard Hughes Corporation, or Howard Hughes something or other, and so they've allowed this. Good for them. They have allowed then this organization to come in and set up these places for homeless people. Good for them. Is that a terrible worldly company or something? No, they're doing the right thing. Carpenter Shelter began housing the homeless in the basement of a local Catholic church in 1982. Oh, is that Babylon the Great you're talking about? Who did that? Well, I never. Oh. So it needed a temporary space. So something that's been set up. So they were using this, and they've obviously seemed to have set up like little separate bedrooms and compartment places, sort of boxed in places. So everyone's got their private space in the building, plus communal areas. And I guess things like being homeless can be very isolating. I don't know, yeah. It can be very lonely for people. So there's someone else is saying, I'm going to give you a hand, I'm going to help you, and the person becomes visible, They have contact, you know, they can get a good night's sleep. It's really hard to sort out your situation when you can't sleep. You know, it's hard, just the struggle of just keeping clean for the day, you know, when you're just so tired, let alone sorting anything else. So there are, sadly, enough families and kids in this. Shouldn't happen, but sadly it is. This is the lady who used to work at Macy's, who's now there. And right at the end of this, they do mention that there is a Jehovah's Witness family, or at least members of a Jehovah's Witness family, who are using the facility. Now, we know that Jehovah's Witnesses, they don't have any food banks, they don't have clothes places where you can go and buy something very cheap or for free. Nothing like that. They don't have any funding to help, any compassionate funds that can be discreetly given to someone. Now maybe members in the group would do it between themselves, just privately, and not say anything. I hope so. But there is no official policy. No official policy. And people do need it. We know they do. What's the point of trying to say to someone, you know, oh, this is the truth, and another 120 years down the line, maybe then our prophecies will come true. But in the meantime, is that your stomach I hear rumbling? Oh, what a shame. Never mind. I mean, the Kingdom Halls what are they used now? 6 hours a week most? I don't know. Well, of course, if you're sharing the halls, it's a bit different. But traditionally, you know, every area had their own one. 6 hours, it was empty. A big building, empty. Well, you might have a family who are homeless. So they're talking about here, reading from here, the accommodations are sparse and residents could not hide their disappointment that bedrooms do not have windows. Wait for this. 4-year-old Matthias Achu, I don't know if I've said that right, was so excited to see his new room at the shelter that he could hardly sit through their weekend Jehovah's Witness gathering, his mother said. Dressed in a grey suit vest and small brown dress shoes, Matthias played with a plastic castle in the shelter's new family room. A hand-painted sign on the wall quoted Theodore Roosevelt. Do what you can with what you have, where you are. Look, there's a picture of the lad. Look at him. Cute as a button. Look, you can see. Oh, looking round the door. Oh, dear. But it's sad, isn't it? Oh, dear, it's so sad. So this place, Alexandria, did I say Alexandria? Alexandra? The Kingdom Hall there. I hope you're pulling out all the stops for your own. Really. Really. Because there's the lad. I was trying to look, it won't go bigger on the screen. There he is. And I don't know who else is in his family. It's at least him and his mother. They need help now. They're getting help. They've been given now a landing stage. I don't know what happened, how they were managing before they got this. Please do what you can, because you claim to be the most loving people. This is your family now. So I know I'm getting a bit pompous, yeah. I think there's considering how, from some of us know how Jehovah's Witnesses regard themselves and how loving and wonderful they are, and how much money goes into the organisation, and it's never enough, of course, and that the bosses have got this prime New York real estate. And I never tire of saying it. This flaming lake that goes up and down. How can they have a lake that goes up and down? Well, Matthias needs what he needs. Seriously. I never liked the Catholic Church for all their riches while people were starving and hungry. And yeah, there would be people, missionaries out there on the ground, people living in poverty, giving their lives to poverty, helping others with nothing, doing what they could, risking their lives to help others. Well, the big bosses, oh yeah, look, wafting around in the gold. Well, all the best to this family, and really hoping this is a great upward curve for them. Really do. Thanks for your time watching. Bye.